missing one armor and two weapons.
Hey, we're live. What's up, guys? How you doing? It's Damnation-n-Hellfire here. And yeah, I caught you guys totally unaware because normally I tell you before we go live, and I didn't say a word this time. So tonight we got Toxic. What's up, Toxic?
G'day everyone, how are we?
We got Ross.
Good evening, everyone.
And we got returning to the game for some unknown reason after 7 months because I guess he's insane. Shane, what's going on, buddy?
Hello.
And of course, tonight we're going to talk about all things Battle Pirates because, you know, the game that we love to hate and hate to love.
Hello, Neil.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine.
Cool. All right. So I guess we'll get started. Somebody pick a topic and we'll talk about it because I don't have any topics.
How about the raid being pushed back a week? Let's start with that one.
Oh, I'm great with that, man. I think I like the fact that it's going to slow down content and give us a while to build other stuff that we might be behind on. And, you know, that means that it's going to be a good raid. And instead of some of the crap that we've been getting lately, I'm all about it being pushed out.
Now, as far as I want to clarify a couple of things because I had some questions too. So, being that the raid's going to be pushed back a week, it's going to be the exact same setup that we were planning on having already. That's correct, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, we're going to have as far as I know and understand at this point, we're just going to have an extra month of the current raid cycle that we're currently doing.
Okay, so that's my next question. So the next raid after this one here will be also the same cycle. So when the people were wondering, well, we're going to be behind on getting the next raid cycle's hull, and therefore this will actually hurt our progression, and that's actually not the case.
Well, that's not the case. My understanding is that not this upcoming raid, but one after that will be the same cycle as what we're doing, and that's when we will get the new skirmish hull.
Right.
To progress in the raid after that. So, you know, it's like everything's kind of the same. It's just instead of a 4-month cycle, this time we're going to have a 5-month cycle, is my understanding.
Sounds great. And with these campaigns out at this exact time for the Manticores, it really is a big help in the community on this raid cycle, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Good
Anybody
deal.
else got anything they want to put in on that? What do you
Makes me think I want to go back and build a missile fleet now.
Well, hey, you can get enough tokens in the campaign to get you a start on it. I think, how many tokens do you get? Well, you get like a crap ton, don't you?
27 days total.
Is it 27 days?
But they give you like 2 rounds of the 3 days, and you can only hold, they give you 3 days on each one of those rounds, but you can only hold 5. So you need to be able to spend at least one of those 3 days so you don't throw it in the water. You know, but 27 total is what that comes out to.
Yeah, I mean, Christ, that would be like, what, almost 2 boats right there, probably? Because what are they running, like 15 days a piece or some shit?
18 or 19, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The missile is 18 and a few hours.
Yeah. I believe I have 8 now, and I could get 4 and 4. That'd be another 8. That'd be 16. And then if I did a rapid assault, I could pick up 2 more.
And not to mention the extra tokens you'll have from like the extra FM that gets thrown in there. You know, the extra couple FM since we have a whole another month of FMs there. So you'll have all those tokens to work with.
It's definitely a good thing, and what I like is that obviously something wasn't right with whatever they were gonna do, and instead of pushing it out wrong and having people being upset and they said, look, we're not gonna do the right, we're just gonna extend it for 1 month. So that they must have needed time for whatever they were doing, and that's a good thing.
Well,
It's
yeah, because I mean, honestly, they're doing it at this point. What we've said for a long time that like we would rather you take your time and do shit and have it right than hurry up and rush it and have it wrong. And they've actually finally, after how many years of saying that, they finally listened. So kudos, in my opinion.
exactly, yeah. I'm all for it. And it can only be good. You got an extra month that you wouldn't have had to finish stuff up and to replace what you couldn't get in bounties and raids and whatnot. So, yeah, they've done the right thing by pushing it back.
Seems like I'm using my regular shipyard right now to refit and build some Conqueror stuff, but because, well, I guess I could be working on my damn Centurions.
Oh yeah, I got so much shit to do in my regular shipyard for PVE stuff. Like I still have to finish refitting all the new armors to my FM fleet. I still have to finish. I got to put armor on my protos. And yes, my regular shipyard has plenty to do. Wow.
That's a good question, or a good statement there, and brings up another good question. Now, the new armor, the limited armor that we got in the raid last time, when are we going to get a chance to get more of that?
You mean the special, the one that's like the RA that has deflection built into it?
No, the
armor one.
D6M
Okay.
and the D6CO.
Well, I would imagine our next chance to get that is going to be in the next upcoming raid.
Yeah, kind of.
But you know what I was...
Go ahead, talk to me.
No, you go finish yours first.
I was just going to say, but at this point, I'm not even worried about that. I'm just trying to put the missile and explosive dual armor on my FM fleet at this point. Now you go.
No, I just had a crazy idea, as I usually do. If you build any ship in your Conqueror shipyard, you need to pay a severe amount of titanium to build it. That's why people build their Conqueror stuff in the normal shipyard. But how about if let's just say you're way behind in PVE, but you got all your PvP stuff. Why? And I'm not sure. Do we use uranium to build fleets?
No, we don't use uranium to build fleets at all.
No, there's only one case with one piece of armor that you used uranium, but no.
Yeah, so why don't we pay a little, like the same amount of uranium as we do titanium, and then you can build your PvE house in your Conqueror shipyard?
Because
nice, but
because they don't want people progressing that fast on PvE builds, which I can totally understand. Because imagine how much income they would lose from the whales who want to make sure they have like 5 of the new ships to do an upcoming raid. And if they have 2 shipyards to be able to do that in, that's going to be a whole lot of coin that they'd be losing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you look at it that way. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
In the opposite side of that, it's always nice to start some of these new PvP hulls in your regular shipyard, and that way you don't have to give up the uranium.
Yep. So, since we said the words PvP, what do you guys think about the change coming up as far as level 80 is now going to be the new bottom feeding?
Great.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. The game's progressed. That needs to progress too. You know, you get to 250 too quick to be able to have anything. Being 80, they at least got a better understanding of a lot more of the game to jump out in the open water, I think.
I mean, it's gonna be a weird situation though, because you're gonna have some level 80s that are still might as well be level 50s. Let's be honest, because no more tech than what they have and no better than they understand some of the mechanics of the game. And then you're gonna have other level 80s that are gonna be like level 129 because they've either gotten hand fed or spent a butt ton of coin on stuff. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, you can drive by a level 50 base and then everything inside of it explodes. You know what I mean?
It's
So,
true.
Well,
yeah,
I do that in level 80 bases and bounty all the time.
yeah, but it's it gives them another 30 levels to be safe from the bigger guys. So that's I think it's a really good thing that they did that. It might need a little bit more working out, but yeah, no, I'm all for it.
I mean, I still would have liked to have seen more, and we've talked about this many times. I know Shane brought it up many times. Like, base it on your OP level. Like OP9s can hit OP9s, OP8s can hit OP8s and above, and 7s can hit 7s and above.
Yeah, that's what I've always kind of thought. But that's looking at it from a NASCAR point of view, from my idea of it. Because if you match the outpost, then each person has the same amount of land and turrets and dock levels, and they're on equal playing ground. Other than a level 10 going and hitting a level 8 outpost, they got like 34 more land tiles. It's like, how's he even supposed to try to attack back? I mean, it's got that much more to go at. But I'm thinking maybe hopefully this will develop a little bit more of an exciting baby pool. The 80s and lowers, maybe they'll get more active before they ever grow into the big water.
Yeah. And once they start to progress in those lower brackets, they'll feel more confident about hitting in the higher bracket once they get there.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many dead, 50 to 70 bases anymore that, I mean, most of them aren't even playing. You get there and you start getting beat up, and it's kind of like, well, I don't want to keep.
That's why they quit. They get within 50 in what, three months of playing the game, and if they get hammered, they're like, piss on this.
But let me ask you a question though. Those same people that gave up at 50 because they were getting hammered, do you think that once they start getting hammered at 81, they're going to be suddenly, oh well, this is great now that I'm getting flat now that I'm 81?
Well, I think they'll have a better chance than what they had at 50 of being able to sustain.
And the other part of that is here you've got a level 78. He can't go beat up on a 115 player, but he can go beat up on some 50s and 60s and not have to be punished by a level 100 player.
Unless he's got a 79 and that same guy's group's going to come beat him up. And then you got equal playing fields again.
There you go. Which is all good.
But I think it will breed a little bit more confidence when they grow up. I think people will probably last a little longer and maybe stay in the game a little better. Maybe breed some new fish.
Yeah, I mean, it'll just be interesting to see how much it changes. And I guess they're bound and determined to go forward with their thing for the world chat and finally get that activated. Dude, I honestly, I really wish they would rethink that. That's going to be nothing but troll paradise right there. Is all that's going to be.
And I understand, kind of wanting to keep up with even maybe other games and their chats and things like that, and the features that other games have. But in my opinion, we just haven't done well with the basics. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to expanding in the chat, but I do like the chat feature. I mean, that's probably the reason I'm still in the game is because my friends are in this game also that I chat to. So I'd like to see some improvement, but I'm not sure what on what the international chat. I mean, how's this? I don't even understand it yet.
Here's what I see. I see world chat just turning into Ewok will be there, my Kermie will be there, and some of those guys, and they'll just be like trolling each other back and forth. That's what I see is the world chat thing is going to be. It would be good for you could do alliance recruitment in there, and that would be okay. But I just have a feeling that's going to get lost in all the trolling that'll happen in there.
But it's your choice. You don't have to click on the world chat icon.
That's right.
That's true.
So yeah.
But you're just going to see that. You're always going to see that orange world there, and it'd be and that'll make it hard not to click on it because you're like, oh, I wonder what these dumbasses are talking about right now.
But it'll be so funny though. You gotta admit it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be fun. Listen to some of these comments.
It is funny because go ahead.
And I think it's gonna rejuvenate PvP a little bit, because someone's going to come and, I'm going to come and get you. I'll find you and I'll come and get you. And it'll sort of bring back a bit of base hitting and stuff, So maybe it's not a bad thing, but yeah, you don't have to click on it if you don't want to. So that's my thoughts on it.
Now, didn't that work? Didn't the international chat work for a little bit, and you could talk over a couple worlds at that point in time?
Yes, it did at the very start.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was like for a week or something.
Oh, and it was so fun, wasn't it?
Well, I kind of thought it was, because once again, to go back to what you said, there'd be a lot of trolling in there, but it's kind of like, Ross, you jump in there and go, well, I'm going to come to 100 and hit this base, and then just post it and laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
And just real quick, John Garcia is asking what the name of the tactical module for the MSC fleet was. The MSC fleet didn't have a tactical module just for itself. Like, they've come out with all the tactical modules can be put on any of the fleets. So you can put the EMP blast on it. You can put the Haymaker drones on it. You can even put the old ones on it, like engine disruptors and stuff. And the one you could do the fire extinguisher one. And what's the other one that gives you like the bonus damage across the board?
Those were the. Yeah, go ahead.
TAC, what? Did the tactical module?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
I don't know, the one that boosts all your weapons. I remember the old micro damper that used to debuff all of their weapons that are shooting at you. But yeah, all of those old tacs, they're the tactical modules that you could put on arbiters and stuff.
Tactical focus?
Yeah, tactical focus. I think
that's the one that
came with the
tactical, picks up your ship speeds.
And as far as when we'll get that again, we don't know. We don't make the release schedule. You'll just have to be patient, and like the rest of us, and wait and see when it's up for Enterprise.
I've seen in FM they got that Haymaker drone tactical module in there. If you're looking for, I guess it's the one that does the ship drones.
Right now, we want to the tactical focus. Excuse me. When that first came out, the one he's mentioning back with the MSC. That was a really, really good TAC mod when it first came out, because that boosts the damage percentages across the board and across all the ships in all the others in that fleet. But at that same time is when the deflection stats started skyrocketing, and these corrosive and ballistic and all these other damage boosts really are not so helpful anymore as when they were released. So this tactical focus does still play a part in the game. However, I do have to say it's not what it was when it came out, because we're dealing with pass-through damages now.
And like No Phobos just said in the chat too, it's all about how you want to niche fit your fleet for you, because you got to look at the utilitarian stuff of it, In certain cases, the EMP blast is going to be better. Sometimes the Haymaker drone is going to be better. Sometimes, you're going to want something that puts out fire fields, and so the fire extinguisher thing will be better. It's all about building it to how it fits what you're trying to do with it, as opposed to, well, this TAC mod came out at the same time as this boat, so they go together.
Right, and it's not a straight across the board. The same one for each hull. Even if you really want to pay attention to what you're gathering in a fleet as a total, and I would not suggest the same CICs or tactical mods, or we call them, on each hull in that ship, because the variety of things that you can do now.
Well, there needs to be about 4 more choices, though, I think.
Oh, and I'm sure we'll get more choices in time, but we can't complain about they give us too much content, and then at the same time be like, well, I want 4 more TAC mods. You know what I mean?
Right. No, right. If we want it slowed down, we want it slowed down in general.
Well, if it's been out for a bit, I think it does need to be more available. That's where I feel they need to put more of like raid prizes and bounty prizes in the FM, as opposed to new content in the FM. The new stuff I think should come out in the events, and then the FM was always supposed to be the catch-up mechanism. but it's become a new content mechanism, you know.
Well, see, and I'm of a totally different opinion. I don't think PvP shit should be in the FM at all. I don't think PvP shit should be in the FM or the raids. I think it should all be in the PvP event.
Well, at least the defensive stuff. I mean, you know, after it's been out, you know, I think that's where it needs to be filtered into the community.
I think they could
Where it's
do that.
available
They could do that other various ways though. Like they could do that via TLCs as opposed to having a bunch of PvP shit cluttering up the raid and the.
That would actually be nice. I mean, the way they had the progression TLCs before, but just campaigns.
Right.
You know, as you reach a level, so much content's been PvP content's been introduced into the game. You know, as it gets older, it can be released through campaigns.
And it could be like those basic campaigns that everybody really enjoyed when they were out.
Yeah.
I would like
some
to
way
say
that it can be gotten to the community after it's been out for a bit as normal you know.
So did everyone here on the panel get to see the video that they released though when they were mentioning all this?
I saw parts of it. I didn't see the whole thing. I work for a living, so I don't get a chance to watch it all the time. Mister, I fish 24/7.
That's right. Well, not enough fishing today, but I have to say that my personal opinion was one of enthusiasm. I was glad to see it's pretty comfortable in front of the audience, in front of us, our group here, in front of the live camera. It was a little different to see than I had seen in the from the previous, and I liked it. I liked what they had to say. You know, it's not something. I do know that I've heard many times in the past that we're going to work for the players and we're listening and all that mumbo jumbo, but I do see a little bit of different actions on the way the new CM's, taking things on here. I see surveys on the top of our screen. I see questions being asked and immediately raids being pushed. So I really do see some things being tried to be fixed at least. So that's encouraging in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, all the things, and I've said this many times, he can say whatever he wants to say. Like, I don't really care what you say. I care what you do, Right. And this is the first time I think that I have ever seen a raid get pushed because for whatever reason, whether it's that they're not confident with the way the targets are, or they really want to see what people want before they do it, that I think that in itself can be possibly a good sign. But, as they say, the proof is in the pudding, and I'm going to wait until I actually see what happens. But I am extremely cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. No, I'll have to wait and see, but I've already seen some actions by the raid alone. And like you said, I don't know the real reason. In all honesty, it could be because they don't have their target ready. But at least they aren't throwing a not ready target to us in my opinion. So I'm glad no matter what the reason is that we're pushed back. I myself am kind of at a loss for what I'm going to do until that point, because I'm not sure my mana core fleet is changing, but it might. I mean, I have enough tokens. I could try some things.
Well, have you refit all the missile flash explosive armor on your Infernos?
No, that's what I can do.
Have you built your proto sense yet?
Scrapped them.
Oh, did you?
oh hell yeah, junk haul.
Oh, I mean,
serious.
I love those things, man.
Nah, junk. In all honesty, I did.
I don't think they're junk at all. Like, I have very good success with them.
My Buccaneers outperform them on auto.
You must not have built something right then.
Well,
I know I can take the protos in like a 103 and only end up with like 48 minutes damage. And I know my bucks, if I try to take them in a 103 and let them auto, they take like fucking 4.5 hours damage.
But no, I agree that 103 is bad by design. I mean, that's not the hull. That's the target, in my opinion.
Well, but it's basically, I mean, it's I have the same kind of success with them in the SSRBs too. So
can you put that in a? Can you beat my? Can you take your Proto Centurion and throw it in a 98 map target and beat my Buccaneer fleet?
I'm sure I probably could. If I can beat you in the 103, why wouldn't I beat you in the 98?
I'm just saying I don't believe you can. I think the targets are messed.
All right, we'll figure it out after. We'll go out and compare later.
And that's what, in my opinion, in all honesty, I'm not somebody that just goes to jump into the gun and saying the hull's junk.
Well,
I built 5 of them.
I don't know that that's always necessarily true because you said the Greta was junk, and the Greta's like the greatest hull in the game right now.
Greta.
The Greta Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, that's junk.
That's not junk, dude.
Well, I mean, if I'm able to do the same thing with a tier 4.5 hull, it would seem to be junk.
That's because you're not using it to hit the proper targets, and that's what we were trying to tell you the other night.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying here. You can't just say a target, one certain target. I'm saying across the board. If you're saying one number target, okay, you win. If I'm saying across the board, if that's compared on every target that they're available, that you can hit them on. You know, that's what I'm saying.
But it's not designed for the lower targets, though. And that's the key point that I think that you're missing.
Okay, so see what I'm saying? I'm saying the targets are not designed correctly. In theory, if you're going to release a hull that's better than the last hull, it should perform better on all targets, lower or higher, correct?
Not necessarily, no.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Why wouldn't it?
That's like, you know, sometimes you want to use a sledgehammer to beat something in, and sometimes you want to use a rubber mallet.
No. I mean, seriously. So if they're going to release, let's say, the next raid cycle, skirmish, and we're going to say that possibly the new hull gets outperformed by the oldest possible sub on a small target, and that the target would be tuned correctly? No, the target would not be tuned correctly, in my opinion.
Well, and you're entitled to your opinion. I just have a much different opinion.
Yeah. No, I get it. But what I'm saying is I built those hulls. I tested them along the way. I tested them as I was building, you know. So I didn't like wait till I had a complete fleet of 5 sculled and ranked. I was trying things when I had 3 fully built, sculled, ranked, and they weren't able to perform the little targets. And that's my issue with the hull. I mean, they aren't any good until you have a full fleet sculled and ranked.
And see, I there again, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. But I mean, a lot of it probably comes down to too. And let's be honest, when it comes to PvE, you're not the best ship designer in the world. Just like I'm not the best ship designer in the world when it comes to PvP because of the difference in how we play.
I totally agree. That's why I went with somebody else's build, and thankfully they're in chat. And I went with their build, and I found out, yeah, you have to have the 5. I went into a 3, and I'm picking up 6 hours of damage. In targets, I pick up 18 minutes of damage with a buck fleet.
Hey, the rest of you guys are more than welcome to jump in here at any time.
But
Yeah,
so,
got
I mean, so
no
that's
experience in it though, so I can't say anything yay or nay. I'm hitting 67s for base parts.
Well, I had one of the guys in my group that built a new fleet, and he's all he's done is piss and moan with the Proto Centurions because he said he takes 8 hours of damage doing a 103.
See, that's crazy. I don't understand how people can have such just different experiences with them, unless it's like I said, the build is just totally different for other people.
It's
Well,
one special.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know that the guy's a very good builder to begin with, but still, I mean, that's the kind of response that I'm seeing, and so in turn, I think that turns the rest of the guys off too. I haven't seen anybody in our group that goes, "Oh yeah, these are great things, build them." But
I've not heard anyone say that either. That they're supposed to be good. But yeah, I mean,
it's
I've
like
got
the
three. I got three partially built, so I like I said, I've got no experience with them.
Yeah, I was
And-
gonna say, looking across the board too, you got to wonder. Okay, yeah, nobody's saying that, but how many people have them built in the first place? Because they are a pretty extensive build, and we've had a lot of other PvE shit built currently.
Okay, well, I've got the full fleet of the proto tide seekers, and I think they suck too. I mean, they really suck ass. That's,
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're like comparing apples and oranges at that point. you know?
no, it's a specialty fleet that goes into a special target. That's just what you talked about, and that's what it does. It don't fucking work.
It doesn't work for the crap. I mean, it does. I mean, it works on well on the small targets. I use my whole proto tide seeker fleet to hit the 57s. They do great.
Well, let me ask you guys this: how many proto ties do you run in an SSRB, and how much damage do you take?
5.
And how much damage do you take?
2 hours, 30 minutes, I think.
Okay, Neil.
To be honest with you, I don't even put them in there because it takes so much damage, and that's all I can tell you. I just know that I don't like them, and you're taking that kind of damage out of them.
Yeah, I know. I run 4, and I put them in an SSRB corner, and it pretty much fills me up on uranium for like 2 hours worth of damage, and I'm okay with that. I hit one target and I'm full.
I'll have to spend more time on it, but I just know that the last time I tried it, it just was horrible, and I wasn't happy with it. So.
I mean, yes, I could go around and I could do map targets for cheaper repair, but on the same side of the token, it would take me more time doing the map targets. I'm okay with hitting a corner, filling up, and like repairing for 2 hours. I'm okay for that. It's not for everybody, you know.
Mine do better. I do better on the 103s or the 102s, 103s, whatever they are. So I stick to those.
But I'll go give it a test though, because I mean, they just said in my base, I just spent a lot of tokens and time building the deck on things, and mine are not useful. That's why I've never finished my Proto Centurions.
Here's what I'll be interested in seeing is when the new skirmish fleet comes out, the new skirmish raid cycle comes out, what proto tides will be able to do in that, if anything.
I hope there's another target that we can use them on, because it seems like a very advanced fleet, but it's just not working.
I know, and in my personal opinion, I would like to see, because obviously they're going to have a new skirmish fleet, not this coming month, but next month it'll be the skirmish raid cycle. I would like to see it and the prototypes be very similar as far as performance and the targets. That way, people who got the prototypes and built them actually have a little bit of a heads up, but people who get and use the new ones aren't really behind either. You know what I mean?
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
Isn't that the Proto Apollos that's supposed to be coming out?
No, that'll be just for the SSRB thing. We're talking about the actual.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
What do you think, RB?
Don't ask me. I just got here.
RB.
Hey, you snuck in the back door.
Nice.
You know me. I'm a backdoor man. I don't know why I said that.
That's what Toxic said.
No. Don't push me in front of you. The shield wasn't me.
And there goes the tone in 30 seconds. Sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just waiting. I'm just finding out where you're up to and what you're talking about. That's all.
We're at this point. We were talking about the performance of the proto fleets and whether people thought they were good or bad. We seem to definitely have some mixed reactions.
Did you build them, RB? Do you have the Proto Centurions?
I have the Prototides, but not the Proto Centurions. I've only just finished the Prototides, so I've only got one Centurion, so I haven't really tried them, unfortunately.
Okay.
Heard a lot, but not actually done them myself. Having Hydras, I find that gets me by, and I'm always behind anyway, so I just work with what I've got.
Well, the Hydras were a good choice, though, for you. I mean, at least.
Well, yeah, I guess this is it's the turnaround that's been going on now for a long time. I don't know, whenever it started with the Tide Seekers and the Hell Wraiths, I guess, but we've gone from some fleets doing good in targets to others. So, I suffered with the Bucks a lot through that whole raid cycle and didn't like them, didn't use them. So that's why I've got Hydras now, and I guess it's kind of worked out, but who knows? The same deal with the Manties, I guess, whether it's scattered or missiles, but that's probably another topic again.
Speaking of the Mantis, it'd be nice to have a health CIC to put on the lead mana.
Yeah, I was trying to think of other things that they could do with that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if they go backwards and do it, but it'd be good.
Yeah, I don't see us getting a health thing for that. Especially not at this point, this late in the game. But what they need to do is lower damage in the targets, because in my opinion, the damage we were getting last raid was totally unacceptable.
I think that's the basic part of it, is that that the damage is stonkingly high. And I know in the last raid I found like the 10, because I've got a missile Manti fleet, because I made that choice as well, but the 106s were a dream. It was so easy you could fall asleep. But the 104s, I got more damage because that was obviously tuned to the scatter fleet. So it's just the way they've been going.
And I guess at the end of the day, too, as long as you put reasonable damage in the targets to begin with, you shouldn't need a healing CIC or a healing flagship in the first place. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's true. You shouldn't.
Yeah, because I don't know if any of you guys tried doing any of the upper end targets with Bucks during the last raid cycle, but yeah, if you would go in like the S sets without the flagship for that, you couldn't even finish the target. But if you would go in with the flagship, you would come out with like a coin's damage. The difference in there was so vast because the damage was tuned so high because you had the healing flagship.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess that's kind of with the SSRBs as well, that you're using you can use the buffs for the hunters to buff your Centurion, so you can actually do it without too much damage. It's kind of twisted logic, really.
I'm still interested in. I want to circle back to Shane here for a minute. I'm still interested in, after 7 months of not playing, what made you decide to come back?
Guess I'm just an addict that couldn't stay away.
Right. I mean, but
no, the new guys coming in and me seeing things going on in the game, and I've been following all the shows and everything anyway this whole time. I don't know. Just a different feeling. I know it's sucking fucking coming back, though. Always catching up sucks.
Get bad advice and pressure from people that you're on hangouts with all the time.
Name Damnation or something, maybe.
Take him into the bullies.
Fucking peer pressure, bastard.
I told you were back. Oops, did I say that?
Yeah, like you said, if you're doing the fucking FM, I guess you're back.
Yep.
I mean, I just did it to play around in Bounty, but then I found myself going ahead and going for that Greta. Getting it still, still having stuff that works. You just got to work it out.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you back anyway, I think.
Well, depends
Yeah,
on how it goes. I mean, I
Yeah.
ain't got serious yet. I didn't even claim any of the turrets during the bounty, so I just
I
need
don't
to
know.
catch
You
up
would.
on tech. So I figured the turrets
Okay.
probably possibly should come around. You know, I mean, that stuff should come around. That's what I was talking about earlier. I wish some of that stuff would, at least the defense side, would go into the PvP or the FM, because, I mean, when it gets so old, I mean, it needs to be acquirable. Not
Yeah.
just, oh, we forgot about those. We'll do it on a tech rate here in 3 or 4 months. Well, a person coming up wanting that equipment, you know, it should be available to them.
Well,
If it's been
I
out
have
for a
to say
while.
though, I have to say, over the course of the past couple months, the turrets have cycled into the raid pretty freaking quick. You know, they're like available in the bounty the one month, and then like 2 weeks later, almost it seems like they're available in the raid as well.
Yeah,
And-
but I'm
and-
saying after they're available in the raid, you know, after that, then cycle down into the FM for the community. You know what I mean? I mean, eventually, the people need to get the parts, not just whenever they pop out in events. If once they reach a certain age, the parts themselves. You know, I'm not
Yeah,
saying immediately. I'm just saying eventually the parts need to filter all the way out into that instead of releasing so much new content in the FM. You know, just give the stuff out that's already here and make it available all the time.
or at least
You know.
by the time it works.
Yeah.
I gotta
mean,
say that. I gotta throw that in there. Nice turrets.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was just getting ready to say, I was waiting for a pause there.
and
Since
also,
we're talking about turrets, let's talk about the cold snap shooting out fireballs, Ross.
Well
well, it
done.
is an explosive weapon, right?
Yeah, but it's not supposed to shoot out fireballs.
Well, it wasn't. You know, apparently that changed. Somebody threw a lighter in there.
Is that what we commonly refer to as an oxymoron?
It's pretty cool.
I think we just commonly refer to it as a moron. I think.
That's like a whoops, we didn't test at all. That's what it is. Seriously.
Yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, Ross posted up a picture on the Crow's Nest page where his cold snap is actually shooting out multiple fireballs instead of the rockets that it's supposed to shoot out.
And yeah, and then launcher turrets that don't shockwave.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. I mean,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I thought that got fixed in this last update, though.
I don't know. You know,
Well, it's supposed to, but I don't know if it is or not.
I just.
Yeah, we can go back farther than that. You want to start talking about the anti too?
No,
Well,
no,
no.
I know.
But to a certain degree, I don't want to be like other shows and bitch about shit that happened like 2 fucking years ago either.
No, that's true. But yeah, man, they really just didn't test at all. There's no way that they can say. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe in a test environment it worked, but that'd be so strange. I mean,
Dude, I like I said, I cannot tell you what does go on in the test environment, but I am more than free to tell you what doesn't go on in the test environment. And fucking, there ain't no PvP testing, brother.
right. So I mean, that's what I think is missing. I mean, there's no reason we're the guinea pigs for these things.
Yeah, but we are.
Well, we were. Maybe it will all change now with the new management. We don't know. We don't have to wait, I guess. Give them
I
another-
figure one of 2 things will happen. Well, one of 3 things will happen. It'll either get better, get worse, or stay the same. Those are I am confident that one of those 3 things will happen.
That all depends on the weather, right?
So you're 33 1/3% confident.
Exactly.
Yes, one of the 3 is going to happen regardless.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that one of those 2 things will happen.
I thought you were trying to use Scott Steiner maths for a minute there.
Let's not even talk about that guy. He has problems with the English language in general.
What's I haven't checked the forums. What's the latest on OP11?
I haven't heard anything about it yet. I'm sure we'll get it sometime towards the end of the year, but when exactly, I don't know.
I think they've got way too much to do already before worrying about OP11. Quite honestly, you know, if they're going to do what they say they're going to do, OP11 should be
Put on the back burner.
I think so. Even
Think
maybe
straighten out first before you start thinking about progressing some more.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
And I mean, I think the only reason, and you guys can weigh in on this too, but I think the reason we got OP10 before the end of the year this time was that everybody was out of base power, and I don't think we have that problem right now. So I'm looking more towards OP11. It'll probably be towards the end, like December-ish, is what I'm thinking.
Well, I think it could even go, you know, February. There's no, you know, they're showing that they don't have to follow everything that's happened every year. So, you know, maybe this is the time to just, you know, as they say, slow down the content, take a breath, let's just fix some basic stuff like turrets that don't work and everything else that's been said a bazillion times. And because OP11 only really, from what I heard, you know, just came out of speculation, so, and traditions, but, you know, traditions change. That's stuff.
I mean, I myself though like having a new OP at the end of the year going into the new year, because it seems like, you know, that's like the best time to do it, because it's like new, fresh, roll into the new year type of thing. That might just be me though.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
now,
you're right, with base power, we're not, you know, we don't have those issues like we did before.
Yeah, I think that's why 10 got rolled out so quick, because nobody had any freaking base power and could like really do anything.
We could use more turrets.
Yeah.
Well, no, we could use turrets that actually do something. Is what we could use.
Now you're regressing. You're regressing.
Sorry, Toxic. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna jump, you know, 2 steps back to when we were talking about the fleets for the chore fleets. Now, talking about the proto-sense and tides and not the Buccaneers. What do they call them?
Prototype seekers, proto-centuries, Hydras.
No, not Buccaneers. Boone. No. We're Buccaneers. Yeah. Now the lead ship had 120,000 health points.
125,000, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and it repaired at the same time as what the normal Boons did, and they only had, I think, 12,500 or 15,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why the lead ship was so important, and that's why it worked so well. With the new ones, the Tides and the Centurions, it's not like that. So no wonder we're paying more for the same thing. As in damage wise, I'm talking about.
But like, see, I don't agree with that. And targets like the 103 is the best example I can come up with, because you take 4 proto cents in a 103, and then you take 4 bucks with the flag or in the 103, and you're going to take more damage on the bucks.
Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, I've not done. I was just thinking that having the extra armor points on the lead ship that repairs so much quicker than the normal ones is why we never paid as much for the bucks and the hydras as now for the tides and centurions. That's what my theory would have been, but obviously, in the new targets, that's not the case.
And I think it all comes down to just like a different play style. Like people that want to use the proto sense and the proto tides, they're those people who want to come on, they want to hit one target, be filled up on whatever resource they're trying to get, and then like repair for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, and they're fine with that. And then you got the other people who have more time to play and are more willing to go out and hit like 3, 4, 5, 10, 17 map targets and take no damage. It's just 2 entirely different play styles. So like comparing the 2 is kind of like, apples and oranges in my opinion.
True that, yeah. But again, when you just made that point, it's also good to have the two fleets. The people that want to do it quick can do it. The people that want to take their time can do it.
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah.
What else are we going to talk about?
TLCs.
The TLCs are good. Well, the co-op one's pretty decent for getting everybody in the sector or your alliance set with these mana cord tokens. It really is.
Yeah, I know. I helped Shane with the co-op target. Got him a bunch of mana core tokens yesterday, I believe it was. That was yesterday, right?
Yeah. And I mean, did you notice if the land targets were getting stronger each time around, or were they the same each time around?
They stayed the same. That's in my opinion,
Okay.
for the damage I took.
In the end, I could have done that with my icebreakers and the fangs.
Yeah.
Because I did the first round with the icebreakers, but then you offered the help. So I was like, I was thinking there was going to be like 2 targets and then 3 targets.
Right.
And, walkthroughs. But in the end, it was just 1 for each time. So, I mean, my icebreakers actually did the job.
Yeah, I found that extremely interesting. There's only 1 encounter each time through. That was something that made me look at things a little bit positively. It's like, oh wow, look, we have a DLC. Each prize pack only has 1 encounter. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And the person helping gets a shard, actually receives something, and they do receive it. It actually comes up. They did.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
I wish it would have been like the same shard all the time though. Like I wish it just would have been like you would have got shards for Missile Defense System 3 instead of okay, I got a Missile Defense System 3 and then I got an armor the next time. And I'm like, my God, how many people am I gonna have to prep for just to get one freaking thing done?
Oh, you are. That's true. But you're not just throwing it away, But last time I wanted to only help at the end of the night so I could slow repair. Now I'm actually, getting something back out of my 2 hours of damage. And 2 hours of damage to me is reasonable. You look at it like you're actually helping someone earn those tokens and the prints. Those are massive. Those are great payouts. I mean,
but it doesn't have to take. I mean, I tried something out and it worked fine. I did the last round of the campaign. Totally under 5. You take the fleet into. I did it with 2 Gretas and the lead. Sorry, I did it with 2 dragons and the Greta in the lead. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. And I every time I jumped out to redo the armors, I repaired, and it ended up not taking any damage at all that I had to pay for. Like it was always under 5 minutes. And you can take your fangs and carefully drive them. Don't go too close to certain turrets. But you will get shot. I did get sunk.
You could drive plumb through there.
No, I got sunk.
Right under the ships and everything and not getting hit by anything.
I never got hit.
I used my fangs. I didn't get spotted at all.
Yeah, there's literally no sonar in that target whatsoever.
I drove around the bottom, and I went up towards the middle and bang, something. The cold snap saw me. I must have been too close to it, and it was only 1 projectile needs to hit you, and you got 10 hours repair.
Well, that's crazy because I was not only watching Shane while we were in the target, but I think he also had the hangout going too. And I was watching. He was right next to shit, and he never got shot at once.
Yeah, same here, except for the bottom. Like if you're right at the bottom, there was a single.
You only had to take out the starter ships to begin with. So.
Yeah, that's what got me. So I was a bit careful after that. I always stood as far away as I could. But yeah, you don't even need to go back down there. You just need to take the top out, then get the couple of the buildings at the top, then cut the fangs in again, and take the rest of the little gunships out, and then just drive straight through with the Gretas, with the dragon. Sorry. And it was really easy. It wasn't hard. You've got an hour to do 1 target, so that you can go in and out and recharge armors as many times as you like, and it's very doable. And it's a great reward.
I did the first round with the icebreakers myself. It's more than 2 hours damage, but the people who had icebreakers, you know.
Yeah, once you
the
killed the
dragons.
ships out there, you could go right through it.
Yeah, as long as you had the fangs to do them out first. I mean,
Yeah, but even if it costs you a whole fleet, and if it's doable, it's doable.
I
It's
mean,
worth
it's
it.
available for how
Yeah.
many days, you know.
And I mean, and that's great for people who, you know, might not necessarily know a bunch of people that can go out and help them and prep shit for them, you know. So to know that it's you
Doable for
can
anyone.
co-op it, but you don't. It's not mandatory to co-op it. And that's what I like about those things. I hate when co-oping something is actually mandatory. I like when it's optional
Right.
because
Right.
I don't want to have to rely on other people to get my shit. You know, I really don't. That's something that I've always gotten my own shit, and I despise when I have to rely on somebody else to be able to get my stuff. And I like when they do it optional like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is these co-op campaigns. I guess what the third one now, I think. But these truly have been my favorite campaigns actually ever released. I know that there has been easier campaigns per se, but I'm saying for reward payouts and helping the community, these are my favorites.
Now,
Yeah, I
now
agree.
let's go on the other side and let's talk about the other TLC that's currently out, the Rapid Assault. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think there's damage types in it that or weapons that shouldn't be.
Yeah, mainly the when the building explodes and you get the cheese balls and it fucking hits your fleet and kills like a quarter of your fleet because you think, hey, this is a old target. I should be able to take my mana cores in there and auto it. But I never had to have gales on my mana cores because the way the targets are set up now, and oh look, I've killed a building, it blew up, and shot a mortar on me, and now my fleet's half dead.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. But get rid of the fucking cheese balls. They never should have been the goddamn target. We hated them when they were in that raid cycle, and now we hate them even more because our mana cores aren't set up with an anti for those things. Jesus Christ! Like, just fucking listen.
Can we do that with Skyfires? Anybody tried it with Skyfires?
Yeah, I'm doing it with Skyflies.
Yeah, I'm sure you can do it with Skyfires and Phoenixes both.
But
Yeah,
as soon
I
as
had
you-
trouble with
Go on, mate.
Phoenix's last one. Sorry.
No, you go.
All right, I was going to say I had trouble with Phoenix's last time because there just didn't seem to be enough punch in the missiles. Whereas with UAVs, you know, you're targeting again and again and again and again. So it's a lot easier with Skyfires, but it does seem harder this time around.
But as soon as you jump in that thing, you can see it's the titanium target, or whatever they were in the raid. I'm not sure. And you know straight away, oh, there's those stupid buildings on there. So you can, I guess you can take that into account and try to avoid the cheese balls, but you couldn't auto it. And
No.
I don't know whether you could auto it with Skyfires either. I'm not sure.
No,
I wouldn't want to try it. No.
No. It's a drivable target. I mean, to me, I wouldn't say enjoyable, but I like them. You know, I like the bit of variety in the targets. It's not just the same target over and over again, but it does definitely seem to be harder this time because my fleet's exactly the same. It shouldn't be any different, but it is.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. If you give me a fleet that's supposed to be an auto fleet, then I should be able to, I don't know, auto targets with it. I guess I'm silly.
But also with so many mana core, everybody needs to check that they have the availability to hold the tokens prior to starting these campaigns. A lot of people are getting caught starting the campaigns and then they're being told that they can't even hold them because they don't look. And that is one thing you will want to look at. You only can hold 10 mana core build tokens, so you'll max them out.
And to be honest, that's not something you should be doing just for this campaign. Like every campaign that becomes available, before you start it, you need to check your maximum that you can hold and where you're at before you just get all willy-nilly.
Yep.
And I don't think they should have a limit on them either. So
Well, 99 is a good place to stop. But yeah, it's not
Well,
it's not.
throwing in the
I
little
don't.
kinks on us all the time is what they need. Just make them all 99. Quit going, well, except for this one. And then that and say nothing about it, You
Yeah.
go in there and look, oh, I can only hold 5 of those? Oh, shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing,
Where'd that come from? Everything
The
else is
thing,
99.
No, and
yeah,
I think that a lot of times that's where there's miscommunications between like marketing and programming. Programming is like, okay, we put this limited. Marketing is like, oh, we need to put this many tokens in the thing, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute, this didn't add up the way we thought it would.
Yeah, because I mean, in this one in particular, you get 6 times 3-day tokens, but there's only 5 slots for the 3-day tokens.
yeah.
So you have to spend one of those 3 days the first time you get it if you want to get them all.
Yeah, they should at least make it, even if
least
we
what
can
they're
only
giving
hold
out.
5, even if you can only hold 5, but if you get it in a campaign, they should let you go over. Although I remember a time that you could only hold so much of one thing, but they let you go over if you
Well,
win it
it
in a
was in
campaign.
TLCs. You could have up to 50 road crews, but if you won the road crew in the TLC, or you got it during the daily in the arena, you could overbank your road crew.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
no, they did do it. They did do it with tokens as well because they
Oh,
had
did they?
one campaign that I think it was building.
Oh,
Tokens.
yeah, it was a structure build
And like
token.
people
Yes.
complained about it, so what they did was they increased the limit, but you had like so many days that you would have that increased limit.
Yeah.
but yeah, it should just be one number so that you don't have to remember. Oh, Mania Course has got 5. Oh, Icebreakers you can get 40, and this you can get 15, and that you get 3. It should just be one number, and that's for everything.
I know.
Well, even simpler than that, I should be able to hold all the tokens that you offer me in the TLC the whole way through. It doesn't even have to be like 50 of everything. It's like, but if I can get six of these tokens in this TLC, then I should be able to hold 6.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think that's the way it should be done.
So
So
you
you
earned it.
actually, yeah, that's right. You earned it, so you get to keep it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how much I've been paying attention. I didn't even know that was a 3-day token. I thought it was 3 1-day tokens.
I think in that last encounter you get both. I think you get 3 1 days and 3 3 days. I think.
You do.
Well, the part 2, you get 3 1-day tokens and 3 3-day tokens, if I read it right.
That's correct. And the same you get in the last one. You get
Last
3
one.
days. You
Yeah,
get 3 days as well.
Has anyone tried a mixed fleet yet of Mana Cores? Did that not work out? I mean, I'm just looking at, I have a scatter fleet and I have a crap load of tokens now, but I don't quite have enough to build a full missile fleet,
Yeah, I have. I've been doing all the raids. I've got 2 missile and 3 scatter guns, and it works great because the missile will take the further away targets, and then once you get there with the scatter gun, it'll kill it in one hit.
Cool.
Yeah, my Makaro is a missile, and all that was the one I started off with. And the rest were all scatter guns. So, and then I built the second one. And now with all this, I've got 4 scatters and 3 missile plus the Makara. So it works out well.
Okay, so basically, I could build 1 or 2 and kind of just throw them into C as I'm as I'm building them.
You do need the Darkwing on 3 of them.
Okay.
Otherwise,
you
will have different speeds. Yeah.
And of course, the only way that fleet is going to work is if you're driving it. Don't think you're going to be able to auto with that fleet because you're going to get all screwed up if you try to auto with it.
I can't auto. I haven't got that.
Oh yeah, then I probably not for me.
That's why I figured I'd throw that out there.
No, that's the truth. Probably not. I don't lack the ability, but I lack the ability to do it 1,000 times.
Yeah, I like patience. That's what it is for me.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have I autoed? right targets with them or not. I can't remember. I really cannot remember. And if I did, if it was a lot more expensive, because the only thing that happens is that the ones that got the scattergun on, it will be a little bit further ahead than the missile one. The missile
Right.
one will hang back a little bit because it's got the extra range. So
Right. So then taking advantage of that extra range is kind of negated at that point since they're all like firing at the same range anyway.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. But in things like the campaign, I put my 3 missile ones in, or 2 missile ones, and they got the longer range. They will hurt the target, and by the time I get close enough with the scattergun, it only needs one shot of the scattergun to kill that target, and it helps. It goes a bit quicker, and yeah, you take a little bit less damage, I think. But yeah,
Maybe what I'll do is I'll go through and do the co-op campaign for myself first, get all those build tokens, and build a scatter gun one that has, and throw some gales on it to deal with the cheese balls, and then maybe I can auto that next campaign.
That's not a
that
bad
would
idea.
work.
Because
Probably.
Lord knows there's enough VXP tokens in there to get one hull completely to the skull rank. I mean, there might even be enough VXP tokens to do 2 of them. I'm not 100%.
There is
Well,
enough
there's
VXP tokens to
have.
skull one and to get the other one to 74%. That's how much I got.
Yeah, damn close then, yeah.
Okay, skipping topics. Can we skip topics? I got
Sure, absolutely.
all right. I got a question back on the cold snap rocket turret, and I'm actually asking just for me because I'm encountering things and I didn't know if it was intended or not. Now, under the cold snap special abilities, it does say that it disables enemy target tactical field, overloads, and auras, etc. Now, does that disable my new CIC that causes the stun?
You mean your new tactical
Tac
mod?
module.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
tactical mod.
Yes, well, I'll put it this way: it should. Whether it does or not, I don't know, but it should.
It should, because I mean, don't that EMP thing actually say berserk, and it's actually firing 1 second of berserk makes it fire.
Well,
If
yeah,
you're negating that, then it wouldn't be firing, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's what I would think.
Okay.
I would think it should negate it as well, but had to test it out. So that's what they're
Well, I have tested it. It doesn't. It definitely does not. I was just wondering if it was going to when they fix it.
I did think.
well, I mean, who knows?
They're all 2 hours ahead of time.
Hang on.
When are you going to bed? When
Not
are you
anytime.
going to
Not
bed?
anytime soon. All right, I muted Neil there. So when you come back, Neil, and you want to talk, you can unmute yourself. But we don't need to hear your background conversation.
But okay, so yeah, I've noticed that it definitely is not. It doesn't do anything to those. So I've been the attacker, and so I know that I have them on my hull, and I know that I'm driving right in range, and I'm still able to stun. And I was just wondering if that was going to change.
Possibly. I don't know. I will pass that up that's going on, and we'll see what happens.
Because I mean, doesn't cold snaps have a history of it didn't work when it first came out, like
Well,
against the prides or
I don't
something like that?
I don't recall cold snaps never working. What I recall is everything being cold snap immune like 2 weeks after the fucking cold snap came out. That's
Well,
what I
that's
recall.
true too. But
Right. I mean, right away.
yeah, I mean, the only thing they worked against was like frost burns and hardlock aegises. After that was like cold snap immune, like you said.
I can't remember which one. I think there was one random Conqueror hull in that mix that wasn't cold snap immune, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything else, or we want to call it there? It's up to you guys.
That's pretty good. No, I don't have anything else. I mean, I'm seeing a little activity on the waters more than a week ago. You know, in base hitting. So I think that pushing everything back is really going to help the game. Maybe morale the most.
We have morale in this game?
Well, we do.
It's usually negative.
We have pitchforks and flame torches.
No, I think as a parting comment, they're trying to be very open. I like the shows. They're doing better than, and that's nothing against Rampage or anything like that. Not that I dislike the person, I don't know him, but it seems to be more like a show where two people are talking rather than looking at a screen and then looking up and left and right and back at the screen. And they're making decisions that they weren't making before regarding the pushing back the raid, because maybe something wasn't wrong or something wasn't right or God knows what. And we're getting more information. We're getting more. This will happen on that day. That'll happen on this day. It seems to be going the right direction, and that's what I like. Yeah, and kudos for that.
Yeah, I'm sure you've covered it, but that calendar is awesome. Even if it's not, you know, even if it changes or whatever, just to have a little bit of a roadmap of what's coming is like, you know, we've been saying this for so long. So to me, that's probably the biggest thing I've seen, because, you know, we are very skeptical and jaded and all the rest of it. So, you know, I think now we're actually starting to see some action from the words. So keep it up.
Yeah, and the few people, there will be people whinging and whining. Ignore them. Please ignore them, because we want to know what's going on. And if it doesn't happen that very second day, well, at least we know it's going to happen a day or so after. So
yeah,
ignore the whingers, the whiners, and the trolls. We need the information. And yeah, good. Thank you.
Yep. And things can change. It's like that's life. So, you know, you find that one thing causes another. Well, instead of just letting it go, just say, well, hang on a sec, we've found this. So we'll hold off on that for a sec, but it will come. So, yeah, to me, that's.
When are we getting our new road crews? I want new road crews now.
I don't want to be caught blocked in the FM, but you know, we can't have everything.
Yep.
All right. I think we've covered a lot of area. I think we're going to call it there. Thanks, guys, for coming out and watching us. Sorry we got a 30-minute late start, but I had to go deal with a shoplifter at my work, so these things happen. But give us a like, give us a subscribe, thumbs up, share us with friends, all that fun stuff. And I guess we'll talk to you on Thursday. You guys have a great night. Later.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Night.